Well, an amazing story dropped this morning. Former NFL player and former ESPN host Marcellus Wiley has been formally accused of raping a woman back in 1994. The woman said the incident happened back in her dorm room nearly 30 years ago. As you might expect, the details of the incident are quite heinous. If found to be true, this incident and what may come may spell doom for Marcellus Wiley. And if it's true, it actually should. I had to ask my wife about this. My wife has had some experience dealing with abused women. And I said, why would somebody wait 30 years? If it was true, why would she wait 30 years to file charges? Because I looked at it immediately as a money grab. This woman was surfacing and she wanted to get some money out of Marcellus Wiley. But my wife had an interesting perspective. And that perspective was, if it was a true money grab, why did she wait till now to come forward? Remember, he played in the NFL for 10 years. Obviously, he made a lot more money at the NFL and with ESPN and Fox than he's probably making on his YouTube channel. So there's no incentive for her to have waited 30 years before she came forward. And I said, honey, you got me. You're absolutely right. I have no idea. If it was a money grab, the woman could have undoubtedly cashed in years ago. I watch Marcellus Wiley's YouTube channel quite a bit. I really like his videos. His YouTube channel and his perspective is quite good. He has a great deal of charisma and presence in front of the camera. It's hard to believe that a strong family man like he is, like he purports to be on video, is capable of doing something so evil. But then again, it was 30 years ago. Let's hope there's more to this story, because right now, it reads like an episode of Law and Order SVU. All that's missing is the doink doink. Let's carefully, and I mean carefully, look at this article as it details what exactly was in the lawsuit. So here's a story that broke and was published here on the Daily Mail. NFL alum and former ESPN host Marcellus Wiley is sued over an alleged at Columbia University in 1994. The plaintiff claims the Ivy League football star forced her face down and, quote, took her virginity in a freshman dorm. Wow, it's pretty bad. It continues, the plaintiff says she reported it in 1994, but was dismissed by the administrators of the school. The woman, who hasn't been named, claims it led to her suicide attempt as well. Told you it was bad. Let's continue with the article. And it gets worse, by the way. Retired NFL defensive lineman and ESPN host Marcellus Wiley is being sued. It's not a criminal case because the statute of limitations expired. He's being sued for money for the alleged incident at Columbia University while he attended the Ivy League school in 1994. Now an Ivy League professor and sociologist, the alleged victim, is suing the 48-year-old Wiley in New York Supreme Court, claiming that he forced himself on her in a freshman dormitory on a Manhattan campus, according to the lawsuit obtained by the New York Post. The plaintiff, who has not been identified by name, says she lost herself as a result of the alleged incident and later attempted suicide. I'm trying to be delicate here, especially with this video going on YouTube, but you guys can see it yourself. Let's go. Wiley's actions were intentionally designed to cause the plaintiff severe emotional distress or were taken with reckless disregard of the significant or substantial probability of causing plaintiff severe emotional distress. That's directly from the lawsuit. So they're laying the case right now so they can actually sue Marcellus Wiley and get some money. Wiley would go on to be a second-round pick by the Buffalo Bills in 1997, embarking on a decorated 10-year NFL career, which is why I don't know. He was obviously in the news. He was marquee player. He was an early draft pick. So he got a lot of money over that 10-year period, but she waited. Ultimately, the married father of four would go on to become an ESPN and Fox Sports analyst before launching his own podcast. Meanwhile, his wife, Anne Marie, is currently appearing on the 13th season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Wow, won't they have a lot to talk about? Let's continue. These are pictures of him. The plaintiff claims that she and Wiley were friends prior to the fall of 1994 when he invited himself into her dorm room in Upper Manhattan, saying that he wanted to have dinner and listen to music. She says she made it clear to Wiley that while she was uninterested, she made it clear, I'm not interested. We're not going to do this. I'm not that kind of girl. She claims in the lawsuit he agreed we're not going to go there. And this is what he said. Ain't nobody trying to have sex with no. He allegedly said, don't worry, I got you. Just coming to hang out while I eat. I don't even have condoms on me. Why would you even say that? However, according to the filing obtained by the Post, Wiley began to rip her clothes off after entering the room and forced her down, face down, into the mattress before having an incidental contact with her multiple times. The plaintiff claims she feared for her life, struggled to breathe during the attack. Told you it was bad. It's really bad. And here's Marcellus with his beautiful wife, Anne-Marie, who I don't know how she's going to take this. Let's continue with the article. The plaintiff says she briefly escaped and nearly fled the room without clothes on before Wiley pulled her back into the bed and continued to assault her. She later described the attack to a friend before approaching a series of Columbia University administrators whom the plaintiff claims worked to protect Marcellus, saying that they had a, quote, fondness for the budding football star. Wiley was approached by one administrator about the allegations, but just disagreed as to what happened. Later, a residential dean who has since passed away accused the plaintiff of misunderstanding the encounter because the student was a foreigner. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think a woman, no matter where she's from, knows where she said no or not. So I don't think she could misunderstand the encounter. That doesn't bode well for Columbia as well. The residential dean then told the plaintiff, in her opinion, the defendant had not actually done the incident because plaintiff was not from America and had therefore misinterpreted the defendant's conduct because, quote, people from different cultures interpret things differently. Yeah. Okay. As a consequence, Wiley wasn't expelled, but was rather placed on academic probation and ultimately completed the spring semester from his native Los Angeles in 1995. He returned to campus, however, in the fall to play football. Hey, come on back, bro. Need you to play football. This is where it gets really bad. Columbia University is named in a lawsuit where the school is accused of negligence and reckless failure to protect its students from predators. Watch this. The plaintiff claims that she and a friend both received harassing phone calls for following Wiley's punishment. Doesn't say who the calls were from. Then she claims in the filing she attempted suicide because of the harassment. The plaintiff was admitted to a locked hospital ward for 2 weeks before being released. So basically, she was Baker acted. If you're not familiar with what a Baker Act is, if they feel you're a harm to yourself or somebody else, they can put you in an evaluation. It's basically jail for people who aren't stable. Later, after she joined Take Back the Night, which aims to prevent abuse and domestic violence, she encountered other women who claimed to have been done the same way by Marcellus Wiley. So that to me is just, it's explosive. Like I said, it's like in Law and Order SVU episode. There now may be other women coming forward against Marcellus Wiley. Let's see here. One accuser says she approached this is a different person. One accuser says she approached the school's athletic director who did not report the allegation until after Wiley played in the football game against Princeton. Hey, I understand you got something you want to say here, but we're going to hold off right now. We got a big game with Princeton this weekend. Can you just keep tabs on that? We'll get back to you. The plaintiff's lawsuit was filed under the New York Adult Survivors Act, which allows accusers to circumvent the state's statute of limitations. Accusers have been permitted to file such lawsuits for the last year, and it ends on Friday when the law expires. That's why this thing had to be done right now. To take advantage of that law, they had to go and file this before it expires. And I bet you there's going to be more women who join this lawsuit. This is not good for Marcellus Wiley whatsoever. If this is true, he's deservedly done. I told you, it looks really bad. At this point, all we can hope for is that the truth definitely comes out. If he did it, he deserves everything that the legal system is going to throw at him. And if he didn't do it, I hope Marcellus Wiley gets his name cleared with great expedience. One thing is for certain. No one is going to touch Marcellus Wiley right now. You remember the Michael Irvin saga from a year or two ago. While the legal investigation was playing out, Michael Irvin was kryptonite. Nobody wanted to get anywhere near him. He was shunned, and no network would put him on television. It took a long time for him to land a new broadcasting gig. I fear that Marcellus Wiley is about to go down the same road. I offer prayers of comfort for Marcellus Wiley and his family. And I also offer the same prayers for the woman who's accusing Marcellus Wiley. She's going to need prayer as well. Let me know what you think about this incredibly sad and heinous story. Talk to you soon.